Hey guys, am I audible? Please let me know in the chat. Am I audible? Hello Aarti, hello Karthik. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that I'm audible. So yeah, guys, any questions you have regarding CET notifications preparation, you can ask me. Before starting the session, I'll answer a couple of questions which have been asked on the Instagram channel of our page, Instagram page. So some of the questions are like this: what is the likely date of exam to be? So since the notifications are out, so I think it could possibly be at the correct date itself, that is 18th of March. जरूरी नहीं है कि late होगा ही. Please don't keep these preconceived notions in your mind कि late होगा. If it happens, then it is good for us because we will get a little bit more time for preparation. But if it doesn't happen, we can still go ahead with the date which you have in your hand, and according to that we will prepare. And also a couple of questions regarding master class. So from tomorrow we will be having the master class. So all the students who have registered and for the master class and who have not yet registered, I'll request you to please register on the Google form. It will be on our Instagram channel. It will be on the previous video which Anay has uploaded in the description. So the masterclass will start tomorrow at 9 p.m. For all those students who have registered, you have registered with your email ID. You will receive a link on your email ID tomorrow. Please understand that it's a limited seat session. We have only around 500 seats. So tomorrow, mostly everyone should receive the email, and then basis that you can join the session. Tomorrow's session will be at 9 o'clock and it will be for verbal reasoning session. It will be taken by Sanket, and the TTP toppers will also be there, and JBIMS students will also be there. So please, be excited to join tomorrow's session. You'll learn a lot. You'll get a lot of insights of how toppers prepare, on what things to keep in mind, because this is the last mile of CET preparation. And this is where you need, mentors, and you need some expert guidance, which can, push you to the right direction, since we have only around 20 days left. And then there is also a question if CET exam is getting delayed or not. So there is only speculations about it. Maybe in a week or so you will get the answer. So you don't have to worry about delay hoga and nahi hoga. In a week you'll know the answers, and then you can decide your plan accordingly. And we will also I will also come on live on YouTube next week as well. If CET gets delayed, what should be the plan, ideal plan, वो सब हम लोग वापस discuss करेंगे. According to that we will decide क्या करना चाहिए. But as of now हमको पता नहीं है डेट. हमको जो डेट पता है it is 18th of March. So उसके accordingly ही हमको prepare करना पड़ेगा. That should be the approach as of now. Don't have to worry about anything, because you can only worry about things which are under your control and not worry about things which are not under your control. So what are the things which are under your control is practicing. टाइम जो है आपके पास, वो टाइम कैसे यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो टू स्कोर मोर. दिस इज व्हाट यू कैन डू. दिस इज अंडर योर कंट्रोल. हाउ टू मेंटेन द कंपोजर, काम एंड कंपोजर ड्यूरिंग द एग्जाम. कितना मॉक्स देना है, व्हाट आर योर स्कोरिंग राइट नाउ, स्कोरिंग का रेंज क्या है, उसको इम्प्रूव क्या करना है. दीज आर द थिंग्स व्हिच वी कैन फोकस ऑन. So I will also request you guys to ask questions related to CET preparation and not related to the date of the examination, because we can't guess it. Also, in the past few days, a lot of students have been asking. So one more student has asked that, is IMS mocks tougher because they are scoring around 10 to 15 marks lesser in IMS mocks? So yeah, that is true. IMS mocks are a bit on a difficult side every year, but you don't have to worry about IMS में marks कम आ रहा है तो exam difficult आ गया तो problem हो जाएगा. The thing about IMS mocks is that I really like IMS test funda mocks. Even test funda mocks are difficult. So when a mock is difficult, your score might be, a bit lesser, but you get to learn a lot more in those kinds of mocks. If you get, 150 out of 200, तो 50 क्वेश्चन में आप क्या ही सीखोगे, कुछ नया सीखने के लिए नहीं रहेगा. But if you get, 110 में ही फर्स्ट रैंक आता है MS में, कभी कभी 20 में आता है. So there is a lot of scope of improvement over there. So that gives you a reality check कि आपको और भी improve करना है. So please don't worry कि tough है तो मुझे कम आ रहा है, तो don't get demotivated by it. Get excited by it because you will learn something new. And also when a mock is tougher, right, I generally tend to think in a different way. You have to change your mentality, you have to change your approach. All of you would have given out a lot of mocks, right? So what I'm trying to say is कि whenever you start a mock in a good pace, right, then you are you keep that in your head. मतलब आपने एक मॉक स्टार्ट किया एक अच्छे एटीट्यूड में, एक अच्छे फ्लो में स्टार्ट किया, तो आप वो मॉक में स्कोर भी ज्यादा करते हो बिकॉज योर ओपनिंग इज गुड, यू फील कि इजी है, हो जाएगा. सो योर मेंटालिटी बिफोर यू गिव अ मॉक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड दैट्स व्हाई जब आईएमएस का मॉक देते हैं, हाफ ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स आर पहले से ही डिमोटिवेटेड कि यार ये तो डिफिकल्ट आने वाला है. नॉट पर्टिकुलरली आईएमएस, एनी मॉक यू से, कोई भी डिफिकल्ट मॉक टाइप का रहेगा, आपने सुन लिया कि डिफिकल्ट है, तो पहले से ही लोग डिमोटिवेट हो जाते हैं कि यार अभी क्या होगा, मुझे आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. सो फॉर दो स्टूडेंट्स आई हैव वन एग्जांपल, one idea which you can use whenever you are giving a difficult mock. You have to understand कि आपको ज्यादा स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना है because you are going to anyway solve lesser question than compared to an easier mock. तो आपको ज्यादा काम भी नहीं है उस मॉक में. यू कैन स्किप अ क्वेश्चन जस्ट बाय रीडिंग इट इफ इट इज रियली डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज योर अटेम्प्ट्स आर एनीवे लो. सो चेंजिंग योर माइंडसेट की नहीं, डिफिकल्ट मॉक है तो क्या हो, मुझे काम कम करना पड़ने वाला, मेरा एफर्ट्स कम जाएगा. दैट इज अ गुड वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. एंड you may be because of this after the exam you are not that fatigued as compared to an exam जहाँ पे आपको बहुत ज्यादा सॉल्व करना पड़ता है. So please try to change your mentality. डरो मत, demotivate. The whole point of saying all this is that you don't get demotivated by any kind of, be it difficult or easy. And before giving any mock, right, you don't know कि वो difficult है या easy है. That is the first and the foremost thing. So whenever you go into a mock, you have to be very calm and composed कि जो question आएगा वो question solve कर सकते हैं या नहीं, and then you decide कि you have to skip it or solve it at that instance or move on, right? That should be the ideal strategy. Then people are asking questions, what should be preparation strategy for the upcoming days and ideally how many mocks should be attempted? Okay, a really important question at this point of time because I have seen a lot of students giving a lot of mocks in the last couple of days. I personally don't think giving a lot of mocks in the last couple of days will help you. You have to understand one important thing. When you give a mock, you're solving 200 questions. You're solving 200 questions in 150 minutes. So if you solve 200 questions in 150 minutes, you are not practicing anything. You're just understanding कि where you stand at. एक मॉक देने के बाद में आपको ये पता चलेगा कि आप राइट नाउ कितना स्कोर कर सकते हो. उसके बाद में आप कल एक और मॉक दोगे तो भी आपको वही पता चलेगा कि आप राइट नाउ कहाँ कितने रेंज में हो, आपका क्या रैंक है. उसके बाद भी आप दोगे तो इट विल बी द सेम थिंग. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एक मॉक देने के बाद में आपको उस पर प्रिपेयर भी करना पड़ेगा. सो वो मॉक इज वेयर यू एनालाइज योर परफॉर्मेंस and not prepare, right? There is a difference between preparation and analysis. A mock is an analysis, a reality check कि आपको right now कितना आता है, and उसके बाद में you have to work on more things. And also couple of more things. When you give a mock, ठीक है, let's take me for example. With the knowledge I have in my mind right now, I can give a mock and I can score 140 marks out of 200. I can give a mock, someone like me who has the same brain like me, who has the same intellectual capacity, who has read the same thing, उसने भी सब same concept पढ़ा है, he can score 110. There will be one more person same like me, सब कुछ same किया है, मेरे जितना ही पढ़ा है, and he can score 70. The difference between the three of us is what kind of questions I picked while solving the mock, what type of approach I used while solving a mock. So generally, if you are scoring, there were a couple of questions where students said we are scoring 110 or 70 or 80 or 90. One, answer for these guys is that अगर आप कम स्कोर कर रहे हो तो इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपको कुछ आता नहीं, आपको बहुत कुछ सीखना है. You are not selecting the right questions. And also, obviously, in CET preparation, you have to practice a lot of questions. If you completely don't know a topic and you are unable to attempt, obviously, you have to work on it. You have to solve at least 50 to 100 questions and then you can attempt the topic. But with the concepts which you have in your mind right now at this instance, your focus should be to improve your accuracy and not, randomly just solve a lot of mocks. So for people asking what should be the ideal strategy, you should give a mock, maybe 3 दिन में एक बार या 2 दिन में एक बार, depending upon your scores. If you're already scoring really great, let's say 130 plus or 120 plus, you can give one mock every alternate day. If you're scoring, let's say in the range of 100 to 110, my suggestion would be give one mock in 3 or 4 days. And between that 3 or 4 days, give a lots and lots of practice tests and lots of sectional tests. तो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग कि जब आप एक मॉक देते हो, आप 200 क्वेश्चन 150 मिनट में सॉल्व करते हो, तो आप कहाँ गलत हो ये आपको याद नहीं रहने वाला है. मॉक के बाद में जब आप एनालिसिस करोगे तब आपको पता चला कि आप यहाँ पे गलती किए, फिर यहाँ पे गलती किए, क्वेश्चन नंबर 50, क्वेश्चन नंबर 70, XYZ. And then you have to collate those questions and then you have to work on it also. And how will you work on it? You have to take those questions, you have to take those topic and give sectional test on that. So for example, if you give a mock and you realize कि यार आपको तो पजल सॉल्व करने जमा ही नहीं, आप सिर्फ 6-7 में से सिर्फ 2 पजल सॉल्व किया, तो उसके बाद में आप दूसरा मॉक सडनली नहीं दे सकते. आपको पजल्स का, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग का सेक्शनल टेस्ट देना पड़ेगा. फॉर एग्जांपल आपने कोडिंग डिकोडिंग में मिस्टेक किया, आप कल एक और मॉक दोगे तो वापस वो मिस्टेक करोगे. बट व्हेन विल यू वर्क ऑन इट, दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो इट डजंट मैटर कि आप कितना मॉक दे रहे हो, इट मैटर्स कि आप कितना सेक्शनल टेस्ट दे रहे हो, कितना फोकस्ड प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो, and that will eventually help you. Again, a few questions regarding important topics for quants. So we have on our Telegram group and also on our TTP WhatsApp groups, we have shared a PDF. We have shared a file, not a PDF. We have shared a photo of what all are the important topics colored in green, yellow, and white. If you can, get hold of it, it will be really helpful. Mostly just to say it, as of now मेरे दिमाग में जो है मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि arithmetic questions are really important because DI में भी अगर आप देखते हो तो profit and loss, percentages, ratio proportions, mixtures, allegations, averages, these are the questions which are most often asked. Simple interest, compound interest के कुछ questions होते हैं, time speed distance वगैरह के 1 या 2 questions होते हैं, and then there are some number wale questions, and then there are data sufficiency and these. So most probably if you see singlet questions में भी arithmetic questions रहते हैं, DI में भी arithmetic के test होता है. So in quants, arithmetic topics are really important and that you should work on. And as you know, this is an aptitude test, basically an aptitude test CET. So उसमें arithmetic के test होता है, as in terms of quants. Okay, let me see how many people are in the chat. Great. Guys, I've only got 14 likes, so please, I request every one of you who's on the on the live, please like the video and please requesting you to subscribe. We are at 6,096K. I would be really happy if we can make it 7K today. That will be really give us a really good boost. So yeah. One request from my side, please subscribe whoever is not subscribed as of yet. Okay. People are asking questions about how is ELC mocks, how are test funda mocks, etc. So see, level of mock doesn't matter. How will you judge a mock? अगर देखो मेरा personal example बताता हूँ, 2019, 20, 21, 22 हर साल CET का mock कोई कभी टेस्ट फंडा जैसा होता है, कभी टाइम जैसा होता है, कभी IMS जैसा होता है, कभी किसी XYZ जैसा होता है, क्योंकि CET का खुद डिफाइंड नहीं है कि इजी आने वाला है, डिफिकल्ट आने वाला है, क्या स्कोर रेंज होने वाला है. नोबडी नोस. प्लस CET के 6 या 4 स्लॉट्स होते हैं और चारों स्लॉट्स की डिफिकल्टी भी वेरी करते हैं. तो आप कोई भी मॉक प्रोवाइडर अगर यूज कर रहे हो तो यू शुड बी कॉन्फिडेंट इनफ कि उसमें सारे टाइप के रेंजेस पूछ लिया है, सारे टाइप के डिफिकल्टीज वाले मॉक्स में नॉर्मली पूछा जाता है. My suggestions for any mock providers to go for any mock providers would be test funda, time and IMS. This is my personal suggestion. But ऐसा नहीं है कि ELC mock या दूसरा कोई mock देके कोई JB आया नहीं है. Obviously आया है. So any mock is good. You just have to make sure that you are scoring in the topmost ranks in those mocks and getting as much learning as possible. don't waste time on thinking कि ये mocks अच्छा नहीं था या फिर ये अच्छा नहीं था. If a question is really difficult, you don't have to do it. अगर वो exam में आएगा तो क्या आप वो करोगे? If the answer is no, then you have to leave it and move ahead to the different question. Don't try to waste your time. At the end of the day, you have to really understand that this is a very easy exam. You have to keep it as simple as possible. The more you complicate it, the more difficult you're making your life, basically. It's an easy exam. If you keep it simple, if you just prepare, go for the easy and medium question, that's it. You don't have to go for the difficult question, because difficult question करने से ज़्यादा marks भी नहीं आने वाले CET में. So try to keep it simple, guys. Any mocks are good. Test funda mocks, I personally feel, are actual CET level. I've personally given it twice in my both attempts, and I feel they are good. The international placement, and I can see Asrar is also here. So yeah, Asrar has given out a really good answer. He said yes, there are possibilities, depends from year to year requirement, but yes, students who have been placed international. So Asrar is the one who has been placed internationally. He is in Asian Paints. So you can connect him on LinkedIn. He has posted a really good content on his LinkedIn. I will request you guys to go check out his LinkedIn page. You can check out his journey in Asian Paints, and also he has done a lot of work for CSR JBIMS. If you guys can support CSR JBIMS channel, please go ahead and do it. It is also kind of a motivation for you guys too, because at the end of the day, if you're part of JBIMS, you're working for something bigger, right? You would like to bring some improvement in people's life, and that is what Asrar is doing. That is what CSR JBIMS is doing. So please, if you can support, that will be great. Also, international placements we have, so that is there. Rahul Patel, yes, Manchester United. For all the people who are saying Forza Barca, I really regret, but I think United is going to win today. All India category score for JBIMS Utsav. So a safest score for all India category students would be 99.98. That is the only safest score, but you don't have to, just get afraid of this score, because if you see any open category students who's preparing for CET, the safe score for them is 99.95. So there is not much difference between that. And also, if you see in all India category, the competition is lesser as compared to the CET competition. So yeah, you can think of it in that way as well. Any updates regarding CET dates? Sankalp, I've mentioned it before. Rahul Patel course में सब covered है. Yes, everything is covered. We also have concept builders in our course. Each and every topic has a different PDF, has practice test, and also covered all the shortcuts which are necessary. We use for CET, cracking CET by 6 toppers. I've made DI, Anay and Vidhan has made puzzles, sections. Sridhar and Ankit have made verbal section. So yeah, please check it out. It's good. I think it's ideally what you will require as of now. Currently scoring 125 to 113 mocks, but unable to solve puzzles because of time constraints. What to do? Dhananjay, first of all, really good score. If you're unable to solve puzzle, you have to maybe change your approach. So if there are 5 puzzles, right, you have to pick and choose which puzzles you need to solve. And in order to, because of time constraints, so you have to first figure out which areas where you can save time. So for example, you can do it this way, which I also used to do. In my first attempt and second attempt, there were a small difference. So my first attempt, I used to give quants first and then used to give verbal last. Okay. So, and in my last final attempt in which I cracked JB, I gave verbal first and then quants last. So why these two things, changed a lot of things for me is because when I gave quants first, I tend to, मेरे को बहुत ईगो आ जाता था कि नहीं, मुझे क्वांट्स का क्वेश्चन तो सॉल्व करना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, मैं क्वांट्स क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करूंगा. वर्बल तो मुझे इतना ठीक से आता नहीं है, तो वर्बल को मैं बाद में देख लूंगा, मैं रीड करके छोड़ दूंगा. तो मेरे ईगो की वजह से मैं क्वांट्स में 35 मिनट्स देने की जगह पे 45 मिनट्स दे रहा था. So this is one area where I was purposefully giving times unintentionally and unknowingly. But this changed when मैंने verbal पहले दिया और उसके बाद में मेरा लास्ट का 35 मिनट्स जो बचता था, सिर्फ लास्ट 35 मिनट्स में ही मैं सिर्फ क्वांट सॉल्व करता था, बिकॉज अभी तो मेरे पास ऑप्शन ही नहीं है 45 मिनट्स देने का. So just by tweaking the sections, which section to give first, which section to give last, it changed a lot for me. I saved 10 minutes, of which I used some time to solve a puzzle and some time to get more marks in verbal. So Dhananjay, I think this you also can try to do this. Figure out questions where, because of ego, you're spending more time than it is required. Also, a good example for this, apart from quants, would be critical reasoning questions. एंड वर्बल में भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जहाँ पे आप रिक्वायर्ड अमाउंट से ज्यादा टाइम दे देते हो, जैसे कि पैसेज वाला क्वेश्चन होता है. पूरा पैसेज रीड करने के लिए आपको 2 या 3 मिनट्स लगेगा, बट देयर इज ओनली 1 or 2 क्वेश्चन इन दैट पैसेज. सो make sure you identify questions where you're wasting your time, and try to make sure that you're not wasting your time, and then moving on to the questions where you can solve. And coming to puzzles, so this is for everyone, for whoever is listening. So puzzle solve करने का आपको हमेशा एक make sure करना है कि there is one approach, traditional approach, but also there are ways to improve your speed in puzzle. Whenever you start a puzzle, right? So for example, there is a puzzle with 8 people, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, and उसके बाद में नीचे 8 points लिखा हुआ है. And first point में लिखा है कि A is sitting to the right of B, X, Y, Z. And आपने वो देखते ही अगर A लिख दिया, ठीक है, फिर पॉइंट बी रीड करके आपने, सो देयर आर डिफरेंट अप्रोचेस. कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, सब पॉइंट्स लिख देते, देखते हैं, फिर उसके बाद में नोट करते हैं. कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, फर्स्ट पॉइंट में ए दिखा तो सीधा ए के साथ वो लोग स्टार्ट कर देते हैं कि ए यहाँ पे, बी यहाँ पे, एंड देन फिर बाद में पता चलता है कि अरे वो फेसिंग साउथ था, फेसिंग ईस्ट था, फिर वो इटरेशन कट करके एक और स्टार्ट करते हैं. कुछ लोग बॉक्स बना के लिख देते हैं. व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इन दिस केस इज, आप एक बार पूरे जो भी सारे 8 पॉइंट्स लिखे हुए हैं वो पजल में, वो सारे ऊपर से गो थ्रू कर लो विद इन 5 or 10 सेकेंड्स, एंड उसमें देखो कि सबसे ज्यादा डेटा किस बंदे के बारे में है. फर्स्ट लाइन ए के बारे में बोला है, लेकिन पूरे नीचे के 7 लाइन में 3 लाइन में सी के बारे में. तो सी के बारे में ज्यादा कनेक्टिंग पॉइंट्स, आप सी को ए से भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, सी को डी से भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, एक्स वाई जेड. तो स्टार्टिंग विथ सी विल गिव यू a chance to do lesser iterations as compared to A, right? So this is one approach where you can reduce your time in solving puzzles. Also rough work आप कैसे कर रहे हो solving puzzles, वो भी एक important aspect है to reduce your time, because puzzles में बहुत सारा writing लिखना पड़ता है, right? So you make sure कि एक proper approach आप follow कर रहे हो, line बना के. If you're starting from left hand side or right hand side, you keep following that. There are small topics which can save time. Okay. So Aarti, exactly. The one which I said was for sectional wise, but what about jumbled paper? So it will be the same. So even in jumbled paper, you will be having certain DI sets, you will be having certain RC sets, you will be having certain puzzles, right? So you have to make sure कि आप कौन से questions पे. Ideally, even if you remove the sectional वाला part, the point I'm trying to make is कि quants में कुछ questions है जहाँ पे ego के वजह से you are spending a lot more time than you, और जितना आपको नहीं देना चाहिए उससे ज्यादा दे रहे हो, तो वो फिगर आउट करके उसको आप रिड्यूस करके बाद में आ जाओ. इसके लिए जंबल पेपर के लिए आप ये कर सकते हो कि कोई एक डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन आ रहा है या फिर एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा आ रहा है जिसके लिए आपको ज्यादा टाइम रिक्वायर होने वाला है, तो यू जस्ट मार्क इट फॉर रिव्यू एंड मूव ऑन, राइट? दैट विल हेल्प यू सॉल्विंग अ लॉट. Does JB has sports events? So I am from the online batch, Shirish. So I did not have any sports event, but yeah, there are certain sports events. Yeah, once you join, you will understand. NCOBC percentile score for JBIMS, I think it is around 99.75. I'm not 100% sure, but it is in that range. What approx marks or score are required for a 99.99 percentile? I think roughly around the range of 145, 140 is ideally a score. But again, you should not fix a score in your mind. But ideally, if you see the last 2-3 साल का आप रैंक लिस्ट देख लो, उसमें आप अवेलेबल है, JBIMS वेबसाइट पे ही अवेलेबल है. रैंक लिस्ट अगर आप देख लोगे तो उसमें लिख जाएगा कि 140 प्लस 150 के आसपास या 140s के रेंज में ही है 99.99. So yeah. Come on guys, we are just few subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. Please help us reach there. Okay. Any more question, guys? How to focus on accuracy? So, okay, really good question. How to focus on accuracy is, firstly, you have to make a list of questions which you are actually attempting, right? 200 questions में आप 200 questions attempt कर रहे हो क्या? Is the question firstly. Obviously, 200 question में 200 questions को attempt नहीं करता. So, if you are attempting, let's say 150 questions, out of those 150 questions, how many questions are you know, solving in, let's say, within 1 minute? How many questions are you solving within 2 to 3 minutes? How many questions are you solving more than 3 minute का टाइम ले रहे हो? ऐसा एक लिस्ट बनाओ, एंड इसमें फॉर एग्जांपल 0 to 1 minute में आप 150 क्वेश्चंस में 60 क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हो, तो उसमें आपको कितना करेक्ट आ रहा है? वेयर कैन यू इम्प्रूव ऑन दैट? 2 to 3 minute अगर आप क्वेश्चन को ले रहे हो, तो व्हाई आर यू टेकिंग मोर देन 2 to 3 minutes? यू नो, मोर देन 1 minute क्यों ले रहे हो? These are some areas which you can use on improving accuracy, but the most important reason, most important trick or most important solution to improve your or focusing on accuracy is by solving a lot of practice tests. Because see, what happens is, if you read a concept and if you solve, let's say, 50 questions, or if you solve 10 questions of that topic, and then you go to a mock and you solve that, वैसे ही टाइप का उसी टॉपिक का क्वेश्चन आ गया, बट उसमें कुछ ट्वीक है, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा पूछ लिया, तो you have to spend 1 more minute to understand कि इसको आंसर कैसे करना है. And there you can make ideally make some mistakes, या फिर ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है, and that is why आपका accuracy low हो रहा है. So what is the basic challenge over here is to, अगर आपने ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं किया है, तो obviously आपका accuracy कम रहेगा. There are lots and lots of topics in CET, and people, you know, give a lot of energy in giving mocks. आप mocks देने में जितना एनर्जी डाल रहे हो, ट्रस्ट मी, उसका 70% एनर्जी भी अगर आप सेक्शनल टेस्ट में डाल देते हो, आपका एक्यूरेसी का कोई इश्यू ही नहीं होगा. बिकॉज इन अ मॉक यू जस्ट कम टू नो कि हाँ, मुझे क्वांट्स कितना आता है, मुझे वर्बल कितना आता है, ये टॉपिक मुझे कितना आता है, बट वो इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रहा है. मॉक्स इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, एक्यूरेसी इम्प्रूव करने के लिए आपको सेक्शनल टेस्ट देना पड़ेगा, प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट देना पड़ेगा, उसको टॉपिक वाइज टेस्ट देना पड़ेगा, तब जाके आपका एक्यूरेसी इम्प्रूव होगा, राइट? So just blatantly randomly giving mocks won't help. It's a really serious request to a lot of students. If you see, I'm just giving out a random number. I'm not 100% sure of the number which I'm going to say, but if you see the top students who are in JBIMS and Sidnam, and if you see the students who have scored lesser than them, difference between these students, 101% would be the top students have given more sectional tests than the students who are not in JBIMS and Sidnam. And you can go and ask any student in Sidnam and JBIMS and you will get the answer. And you can go and ask any student who has scored less कि तुमने कितना sectional test दिया था और इन्होंने कितना sectional test दिया. Difference आपको तभी समझ में आ जाएगा. Nobody asks that. I don't know why. Everybody asks कि तुमने कितना mocks दिया था and what is your mock score. That doesn't matter, because where have you prepared is what matters. Mock is just to you know, get an idea कि आप where you stand right now. That's it. How much should be the ideal accuracy? Gaurav, ideal accuracy should be around 80 to 85%. So let's say if you're attempting 160 questions, you would be getting around 134, 135. If you're attempting 170 questions, your accuracy, if it is 80, 85, you're scoring around 135 to 140. So 80 to 85 accuracy is something which is ideal according to me, and that should, you know, help you a lot. हाँ, राइट. So रोहित has asked one question कि आता सब है but टाइम में नहीं होता, क्या करे प्लीज बताओ. So रोहित, really good question, because you know, मैं अगर मेरे 10th स्टैंडर्ड के कजिन को भी CET पेपर दूंगा, तो वो भी 3 दिन में तो सॉल्व कर ही लेगा 200 क्वेश्चन में 150 क्वेश्चंस. बट द एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन इज कि सॉल्व कैसे करना है विद इन द क्विकेस्ट पॉसिबल टाइम, दैट इज विद इन 150 मिनट्स. तो द ओनली आंसर फॉर दैट इज प्रैक्टिस. 10th स्टैंडर्ड के स्टूडेंट को ऑब्वियसली इतना प्रैक्टिस नहीं होगा, ही जस्ट नोज द कॉन्सेप्ट. व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, अगेन रिपीटिंग एंड आंसरिंग द सेम क्वेश्चंस अगेन. जितना ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस करोगे उतना फास्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मैंने टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस आज पढ़ा, तो आज मुझे पता है कि टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस का फॉर्मूला क्या है. कल मैंने मॉक दिया तो मुझे वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के लिए ऑब्वियसली 3 या 4 मिनट लगेंगे, बट मैंने टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस पढ़ने के बाद में उसके 100 क्वेश्चंस कर लिए, 150 क्वेश्चंस कर लिए, 200 क्वेश्चंस कर लिए। उसके बाद में अगर मुझे आप वही क्वेश्चन दोगे तो आइडियली वो क्वेश्चन मैंने ऑलरेडी पहले कर रखा है, राइट? सो आई वुड ओनली टेक 30 सेकेंड्स और 1 मिनट। So it's the same thing. The more you practice, the better you become at it. So Rohit, only answer for that is, practice as many sectional tests as you can, and that will help you. Tips for critical reasoning. Please don't take this tip very seriously, but I have completely left critical reasoning during my preparation. मैंने critical reasoning के एक भी question solve नहीं किया था because see, anyways, I am attempting 170 question, 165 to 170 questions in my CET exam. 150 minutes में उतना ही possible है, तो 30 questions तो मुझे छोड़ना ही था. तो critical reasoning are those questions which I purposefully used to ignore because कुछ टॉपिक्स ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे आप जितना ज्यादा दिमाग लगाओगे फिर भी आपको दिमाग में पल्ले नहीं पड़ रहा है. तो यू कैन आइदर इन्वेस्ट सम टाइम इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग की क्या प्रॉब्लम है, इसको सीखा कैसे जा सकता है, एंड उसके बाद में यू हैव टू मेक अ डिसीजन. तो मेरा क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग का डिसीजन मेकिंग मैं ये बताता हूँ. सबसे पहले तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग, हर बार मैं कुछ सॉल्व कर रहा था वो गलत जा रहा था. देन आई थॉट कि यार मैं इसको इम्प्रूव कर सकता हूँ क्या. तो तभी मैंने रियलाइज किया कि क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग में एक चीज होता है. First, you have to infer what the author is saying, and then you have to make an assumption basis that your strong argument है, weak argument है. So जो छोटे छोटे वन लाइनर क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग है that I used to solve. 12 में आई थिंक 3 या 4 वन लाइनर आते हैं. बाकी सारे जो क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग है वो 2 लाइनर के क्वेश्चन, फिर 2 लाइन के उसके ऑप्शन, वो पूरा 15 लाइन रीड करने के लिए मुझे 2 से 3 मिनट लग रहे थे. तो मैंने सोचा कि अगर मैं इसको इम्प्रूव भी करता हूँ तो मैं इसको शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन में कर नहीं पाऊंगा, दैट इज विद इन 1 मिनट. तो इसके लिए आई कंप्लीटली लेफ्ट इट, बट ओनली यूज्ड टू सॉल्व द इजियर क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग क्वेश्चन. It's all about how much you can infer, and basis the author's assumptions, your assumption should also align, and then you can answer it. So yeah, how to find a shorter way of solving a question? Most of the times, Ankit, a shorter way is by solving questions in a quicker way. That is reducing your calculation, reducing your improving your approximations. So to do it in a shorter way, I would suggest you to remember the fractions of 1/2 से लेके 1/20 तक. Most of the time ये fraction के value of directly कोई भी for example let's say एक ऐसा value आ जाता है कि 1/9 into let's say 11 है, तो 1/9 is what 11.11 into 11 121 122 हो जाएगा, right? बट 1/9 को आप फिर 11 से डिवाइड करते बैठोगे तो राइट. So just getting my point, right? So you have to make sure that you remember the fractions. Apart from that, you have to remember squares and cubes from 1 से लेके 20 तक. Cubes आप squares remember कर लोगे तो वो भी आपको helpful रहेगा. But yeah, all these things which I'm mentioning here, right? All of these things are covered in our course. So people who have not yet bought our course, you have 20 days. Our course requires 14 days ideally to complete. And there are also 250 plus practices. So a lot of students are asking कि possible है क्या 1 month में ये है वो है XYZ time and all of those things. So only one answer for every one of these students, as I'm repeating again, कि बहुत ज़्यादा practice required है. और practice कहाँ से करोगे and shortcut कहाँ से देखोगे? There are hundreds and hundreds of videos and contents available on YouTube. But what we have tried is we have made this top percentile course, target JBIMS course, wherein there are 40 hours of recorded lectures. 40 hours का आप lectures देखोगे, उसके बाद में concept builders है जिसमें 250 plus practice test है with timed manner. There are test funda mocks, and every week there is a mentorship session or a doubt solving session, and also frequently we are keeping catch up calls with the JBIMS students like this master class. Before this we had a live mock analysis with Viren, who is also a JBIMS student, who is also a top percentile student last year. So in case if you willing to give a serious attempt and you think you can invest some time on any course at this point of time, I would suggest all of you guys to go for the top percentile course who have not gone yet. And those who have already gone, please practice a lot of more questions, come on the, mentorship sessions, ask your doubts. We are here to help you. So yeah, target score for TTP mocks, no target score, rank should be targeted top 10 ranks. And if you really want a score, you can go and check out the last 4 years ka CET toppers ka score. It is in the range of 140. So, that should be the ideal target, right? 99.99. But every mock is different. किसी किसी mock में 110 में भी topper आ जाता है, तो rank should be the target. That is the top 10 ranks. Reading comprehension tips. So Shirish, for reading comprehension, right, you can and how to improve verbal. So tomorrow, yeah, Shirish, so I hope you have registered. You can come to the session tomorrow. There will be a JBIMS student who is really good at verbals, who is going to take a master class on verbal. He will be giving out a lot of tips and a lot of tricks how to improve on verbal. Please make sure that you attend it. It will be on 9 o'clock tomorrow, 24th, and after that 25th and 26th को भी 2 और sessions होंगे for abstract, for quants and for LR. कल verbal और abstract दोनों होगा 9 बजे. लिंक आपको आपकी ईमेल पे मिल जाएगा जिससे आपने रजिस्टर किया है. एंड लास्टली डिले बहुत बोल रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स, so please don't focus on the delay. It is not under your control. Only focus on things which are under your control, that is practicing a lot of questions. So yeah, I think that is it from my side, and I hope you have subscribed. If you are not yet subscribed, please requesting you to subscribe. We have to reach that 7,000 number. I'll feel very good. And also for students who have not yet liked the video, requesting you to like this video as well. That is it from our side. All the best, guys. See you tomorrow in the master class. Bye bye. And I will do a live in the next week as well. So